Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game 2 between SKT1 John Patrol and Tang and Friends in this semi-final of the Bronze, Silver and Gold Gold Coast online tournament. My name is Coldblood, and joining me for Game 2 it will be Twitch chat regular Klingo. How are you? Are you there, bud?
Hello.
You forgot to unmute.
Yeah, no, got it now.
It's
now. Great to be here.
Yes, so we witnessed the game one where SKT1 took a commanding lead, but then Tang and Friends clawed their way back to end up taking the victory, but it was definitely by the skin of their teeth. So looking forward to this game two here. Do you have any predictions?
It should be interesting to see whether they can continue their momentum, especially from the AD carry. Woodsy definitely put up a great performance last game with his Draven.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Draven will get banned out. They still have a ban out. No, they
doesn't
will,
look like it.
They're going to ban out Renekton rather than Lee Sin, so Mendrix getting a respect ban there, with Susan, Shyvana and Fizz taken out by Tang and Friends, who are now 1-0 up, and it's best of 3 to determine who will go into the grand final, and hopefully we can bring the other semi-final to you, which will determine who wins this series goes against, as I think I mutilated that sentence quite badly. But do you have any predictions with what will happen here, Klingo? Do you think SKT1 will go for a wombo combo type of type of team again?
Well, they are banning out all the tanks, it seems. They've got Shen, Renekton, Mundo, all very strong picks right now, so it should be interesting to see what happens with less tanky lineup, most likely from Tang and Friends. So maybe a wombo combo could work with the burst.
Yeah, well, Lee Sin was banned by them in the previous game, is now available. Not sure if they will decide to go for it. Danny the Yag did a great job on the Amumu. We saw him play that in the quarterfinal on Sunday, the Lee Sin, and he got very, very fed early on. Was the tankiest person in the game while having a Ravenous Hydra. It was very scary to see. Tang and Friends do have the Olaf once again, did pretty well in the fights, was definitely a presence later on with, running into the fight and popping the Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And what can SKT do this time?
Well, an early lead, although they did get an early lead last game, but maybe hold on to the early lead, continue the strong mid-game to late game of the team fighting, rotations, etc.
Okay, so shout-outs in the Twitch chat. We do have Sepokasaur asking if this is real life. Someone was talking, it was Party N, yeah, hoping that Maka drew the Draven bans to open up his Anivia potential. I know that you're an expert on Maka's choices, so looks like we probably won't be seeing Anivia in this game, unless he decides to pick it up, or if they're going to go the roles that they normally do.
Yes, not sure. Maka does a very diverse champion pool.
Yes.
Whether or not he's any good at whatever champ is a different story, but we'll see.
Okay, Draven going to be locked in once again. We can assume that we'll be headed over to I Am Woodsy. He did a brilliant job in the previous game, picked up the MVP, although it was very close between him and Sunwa, who the latter did a brilliant job on the Morgana, throwing down the Soul Shackles and the Black Shield. We already have a shout out to James, please, who is actually asking you for the shout out, so I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Shout out to old mate Grouse. Hope you're having a good one, mate.
And Raise Bra. No, he's doing the Raise Your Klingo. Do
Raise your
people have
Klingo.
their own Klingos to raise?
I'd hope so.
Okay. So Udyr going to be locked in here. I wonder if that'll be top or jungle. I believe the Tang and Friends guys have done Udyr top once in the CG ladder, and it worked out horribly. So I'm wondering if Olaf will be headed top.
I think it might be a top lane Udyr. Mendrix has played it before and he's known for it, so
Okay, well, when he did it in CG, he didn't do the best, but could have been nerves, of course. Hopefully he brings the Spirit Guard Udyr in. Delph the Dragon going to lock in the Ezreal, as looks like the jungler or perhaps the top laner is being left open for the SKTP John Patrol guys. Ezreal a lot more slippery than Caitlyn, so will be able to get away from the Olaf, so I do like that pick. And they're considering what to pick up in their other ones. Could we see a mid lane Zillion? That would be very exciting. Brings the Guardian Angel from level 6.
Mid lane or even support. Seen support playing in the Battle of Atlantic recently.
Yeah,
So,
he did very well too. He,
that was very interesting.
There was someone in the enemy comp who relied on snowballing in the fights, and Zillion just shut it down completely. It was very cool.
Yeah, interesting tactic to use. Could maybe use it because Lee Sin, Ari, all those champions are very snowball. Well, the snowball potential is quite strong.
Oh, shout out to Ziki Bobi, that's a interesting name, who's not sure why they gave them Olaf Draven and the only champion Mendrix is good on. I don't know if that's sarcastic or not. Oh, they're looking at Wukong, who is nicknamed Too Strong, has been sleeper OP for the entirety of Season 3. It's tough for him to lane against Udyr. Early on he does quite well, but as soon as Udyr picks up some levels in the total stance, Wukong can't do much at all as he is constrained by the mana. And no, they're going to fish around a little bit. So we will have Tristana. Will that be going mid? I think it will.
Looks like it, yeah.
Well, that's a lot of burst. So they want to get rid of Ahri or Ezreal instantly in the fights. Oh, that's going to be interesting. I do enjoy... Oh, it could be... I was going to say Ezreal mid, but they don't even have Ezreal.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd say it will be AP Tristana mid, or maybe even AD. We'll have to see. Wukong does get locked in there. And, of course, Cyclone has a 480% AD ratio, so it is incredibly strong. And level 1, it's at 20 damage per second base, and then level 2 goes to 80. So it's quite significant once you hit the level 2 ultimate mark on the Wukong. His AoE potential goes through the roof, so if he's able to jump on top of Draven, Draven's not getting away from that.
What are they called? SKT. Can I just call them SKT1?
Sure.
JP. JP's got a very strong mid game by the looks of things. Like you said, the level 2 Wukong ult, plus Ahri should be getting going. Ezreal should be getting going by that point. It should be interesting to see the early dragon fights and perhaps some earlier team fights as well.
Well, Maka in the Twitch chat is asking if he's playing the AP Tristana, and immediately they heckle him for not picking up the Anivia, so letting his fan base down. That'll eat into their chances. I am really hoping that SKT1 win this game, as I would love to see a Game 3, despite it being 11:30 here in the Capital Territory.
Ooh.
And Jakey is apparently Maka's manager. I think he's actually his rival jungler on Doge for LoL, but yeah. Yeah,
should be interesting to see whether Jakey can continue to manage.
Apparently you have a manager as well.
I do.
Okay, Raisbra is your manager, so he's doing a good job at keeping your PR up. We can now reveal the summoners, and we can see that once again both the supports packing the Ignite. We'll have to see if Delph the Dragon does well on the Annie. He did fantastically on the Karma. Annie doesn't pack nearly as much utility, but the level 6 is a lot stronger, and of course Tibbers, if she can get that stun down, will open up nicely into the Cyclone. Danny the Ag has the Riku, and we know that he is very good on that, and he knows what McNugget XD likes to do on the Olaf now, so I'm wondering how that'll go for them.
I think they should be able to have a better impact in this game against Tang and friends, just because they know how they play their they know how they play the they play the Olaf, they play the Draven, they know how they've been playing that, and also have a slight correction to make. It's been brought up to me.
Yeah.
Pronounced Doge for LOL. Doge. I've been contacted by a member of the team.
And told that the pronunciation is awful.
Doge.
It needs to be fixed.
It's just a bit off. It's alright.
Okay, so apparently James Please is his own manager. And 4Geek throwing out the rival implies equal. He is the... Oh, what is he on Doge for LOL? Can't remember.
Yeah.
Do you know,
he's the top laner.
Top
I think
laner.
he's played mid lane as well, I'm not sure.
Okay, so, well, I guess Tang and friends are showing that you can, when you're a solo laner, you can go anywhere that you like.
That's true.
Okay, so Tristana versus Ahri. I've never seen that matchup. as we can assume that Mac is going AP. He did say so in the Twitch chat, but well, if they went AD, they'd be countered quite hard by attack speed slow. So we're going to assume it's going AP, and I think Ari might actually be in trouble at level 6. Like, dashing away from a Triss doesn't do much when she jumps on top of you and blows you back anyway to die to her explosive shot.
It's going to be all about the individual mechanics and who can outplay who, I think.
But of course, Danny the Yag, as we have mentioned, very proficient on the Lee Sin. So the Tang and Friends guys are going to have to be very aware that, of course, they are going into this game with a bit of a momentum boost, having won the first game. But SKT1 certainly have the potential to win over Tang and Friends. They've got to focus Iron Woodsy this time. They cannot let the Draven sit there shooting out the spinning axes. They have to pressure him and stop him catching them, or they just have to outright kill him, because he cannot be allowed to sit alive in the fights and get triple kills again.
It's too dangerous.
Yes.
Much too dangerous.
Oh, it's awesome seeing Draven, though. I do love him.
It's a great champ.
Very cool.
Yeah. Spinning everything around.
We'll be going against the Ezreal this time, which is a better matchup than Caitlyn, but still a bit tricky for the Draven. And of course he will be going against Annie as well. Waiting to get into the skin battle here. And of course we know that Brolaf and Gladiator Draven will be coming out. Sunwa pulling out the Haunted Zyra skin, which has a very cool Rise of the Thorns passive. And Spirit Guard Udyr pulled out by Mendrix again, so hopefully he does a little bit better than the last time he pulled that one out. They will be going away with the skin battle once again. Ooh. And I wonder if they're going to take this series 2-0.
Don't know. Could be. Could be a 2-1.
Of course.
Or it could be a 2-1 in the favour of JP.
Yeah. Or SKT1 John Patrol.
Can't count on that yet.
They did take an amazing level 1 fight away with the first blood and then 2 kills on their AD carry. We'll have to see if they can manage that again. Annie is fairly similar at level 1 to Karma in that the AoE potential is ridiculous. They have... Well, yeah, they've got quite a bit, honestly, the blue team.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, the purple team this time. Whereas Tang and Friends, the Grasping Roots from Zyra is the only real decent level 1 ability that they have. So, well, of course, Draven can augment his auto attacks with the Spinning Axe, but I still feel like they're going to have to be defensive early on. They were the aggressors last time, and SKT ran into them and ended up walking away with the victory that we talked about.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Tang and Friends are going to look for an aggressive level 1 again.
It would be risky to go for it again. They might be more prepared. You know, waiting. If all 5 of them are waiting in a bush, it's not going to be good news for them.
Okay, shout out to Spratter13, who is admiring the skins, and to Jack XX, who is pointing out that your insight is spot on, Klingo. We are now into the game, and we'll have to go over the players. So representing Tang and Friends in this game 2, with being 1 up in the series, it will be Iron Woodsy on the Draven, who will be joined by Sunwa on the very popular Zyra pickup. Maka is going mid lane as the AP Tristana. McNugget XD, the Brolaf in the jungle once again, and Mendrix as Spirit Guard Udyr up at the top. And then would you like to go over JP for us?
Alright, so we've got in the top lane, we've got Steve the Yag playing the Wukong. Got in the jungle, Danny the Yag on Lee Sin. Mid lane, Klepto's playing Ari. Bot lane, we've got the AD carry, Sexy the Yag. And Delph the Dragon on Annie in the support.
Okay, so of course the stun is available for Annie here. I think exact same positions are being taken up by both teams from the previous game, so Tang and Friends not afraid of the level 1 potential JP, despite it being, in my opinion, a lot stronger, and of course they are good in level 1. Looks like exactly the same thing may be happening again here. Will the stun come out of Annie? That will be key here. Neither of the now the purple team, are they ready? They're going to be running forward into the fight. They know that it's there. Will Disintegrate go off? It stuns 4 of them up. Klepto instantly flashes out. There's Steve the Yag going to get off the Nimbus Strike, and it does a lot of damage, a lot less death happening in this one, and it looks like neither of the teams will go down after a flash and an ignite are blown on the side of SKT, with a ghost and an ignite blown by the blue team. So with Olaf's ghost down, his presence early on will be much less. Can't get the ganks off, and I wonder if Danny the Yag will try and take advantage of that.
He could. He does still have his flash up, as opposed to Olaf having ghost down, but as you see there, all the teams, both teams, just choosing to not risk losing in first blood, so they're sort of resetting in a way.
Yeah,
But,
that was
yeah.
a lot less messy than the previous fight.
Yeah, well, JP still has a very slight advantage in terms of the jungle presence, but
Mm.
other than that, not much.
Yeah, well, Klepto, of course, was the flash blown for
Oh,
SKT1
good too.
JP. And, well, having the charm at level 1, Mac is going to be able to push the lane quite hard here. I'm wondering if they took notice of the fact that Ari blew the flash. She did blow it very early, actually. With she got ignited and just went up, not being a part of this, and got out Sunwa and Delph the Dragon having a little bit of a tussle back and forth. Looks like the bottom lane not going nearly as much in SKT's favour early on. Draven was getting bullied quite hard. And actually, I might fix up the bottom as top lane looking a little bit boring at the moment.
Yeah, it just seems that Wukong's actually gone on the offensive, and Mendrix is just going to be happy just to farm the first few levels and survive. So
Yeah, well, of course, Steve the Yag will have the advantage with his combo until he runs out of the mana. Has popped a pot for himself. Mendrix has decided to go Bear and Phoenix stance, so doesn't have Turtle just yet. Maka is potentially going to get ganked in the mid lane here. He does have the rocket jump, and of course, Lee Sin is standing on a ward, so he is aware that he's there. Will have the W ready to press. Instantly, the pings go out by Maka, letting the top lane know that there could be a Lee Sin headed that way. Steve the Yag taking the advantage in this lane so far. Mendrix has burned through all of his health potions now, so he'll be relying on the turtle stance in the mid lane. Maka going to be jumped on by Klepto. Nice charm will land. Will Maka be going down? Gets ignited up and gets taken down. Mendrix will, Klepto will end up falling to. Oh, actually, Maka gets the kill. So with who ended up getting the kill? So both of the mid laners there on the same CS, both going down with a kill each. Of course, the first blood bonus going to Klepto, but nicely responded to by both junglers there.
yeah, it's a close one. It's just a matter of a few milliseconds, I think, or maybe a second or two between the first blood.
We can already see the difference coming out here. Fiendish Codex for Maka. He wants to go for the Deathfire Grasp. Klepto has opted for a Negatron Cloak, which will allow the explosive shot damage to do not nearly as much. Maybe going for Abyssal. We can see the teleport going off by Mendrix up at the top. Wants to lose out on as little XP as possible. Decoy goes off by Steve the Egg just to get a little bit more damage off Maka. Oh, he wanted to go aggressive on to Danny the Yag there, but decided to back off in the end. And when all is said and done, the team's still looking very even.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see. Mendrix may have a slight advantage right now because Wukong is quite low on mana, but whether or not he wants to take advantage of that, actually looks like Wukong's backing off, so perhaps not.
You normally see the Wukongs go for the Nimbus Strike level so that Crushing Blow and Nimbus Strike have the same kind of cooldown, but he's going for the armor reduction, which I guess would be to try and break through all that defense that Mendrix is picking up at the moment. I'd definitely level Turtle Stance if I were him. Pushing against a Wukong, not generally the easiest of tasks. Mid lane looking quite even on the CS, is a little bit in Maka's favour at the moment, just because he is pushing, and Danny the Yag will be headed bot here, Klingo, but there is a ward in the bush.
Well, they will most likely respond to that, unless Annie can get a stun. It doesn't look like Annie's going to be able to get a stun, so it's a bit of a waste of time for Lee Sin.
Well, McNugget XD will be coming in. They know that Lee Sin's backed off, but McNugget going to be backing off for the time being. Up at the top lane, Mendrix going to take Steve the Yag very low, but no cooldowns were blown by either side if you discount the teleport that was blown early on. Steve the Yag still hanging around here. He's got to be careful that McNugget XD doesn't pay him a trip, but Mendrix looking quite low on the mana himself, so can't really stance. And I think they're both being quite greedy here, honestly.
Yeah, well, it has been a while since Lee Sin was spotted bottom, so it is risky for Udi to be pushing up this much, but
Yeah.
he's lucky in this particular case, it seems.
Well, Danny the Yag is making his way up now, does have the warding totem available should he need a gap closer. Mendrix will need to have his ghost and the bear stance ready to try and get out of there. As though it looks like Mendrix does have spidey senses tingling, will be backing off for the time being, doesn't have any vision of Lee Sin at the moment. As Steve the Yag will be coming in here, Mendrix is going to pop the bear stance. Nice dodge on the Sonic Wave there, will just take a kick in the face from Lee Sin, not doing too much with the cloth armor and the Doran shield. and they end up not doing a whole heck of a lot. So Danny the Yag, his presence in the lanes is being reduced somewhat. As it looks like the engage going to go by Steve the Yag, Cyclone and Ignite, both blown there, but he is quite low on the mana, can't get the last Nimbus Strike, and will he force Mendrix out here? No, Mendrix is going to stick around despite being low health as Nugget XD heads into the mid. And Charm does end up missing. Both the junglers are around here. Will something happen here, Klingo?
I don't know. Mendrix. I like what Mendrix did there because he did avoid the.
Yeah.
He diverted Lee Sin's attention for quite a while. He didn't run. He didn't back straight off. You know, he hung around for a while and just dodged the Q and ran off eventually. But it has stopped Lee Sin from making an impact in the mid lane for the time being. So it's been definitely a good move by Udyr there.
Oh, McNugget XD going to be sneaky and steal the blue buff away. That will be very difficult for Klepto to face. Of course, they love having the... even though it's 10% CDR, it's still very nice for the Spirit Rush cooldown. They love to have that up as much as possible. Bottom lane doing a nice job here. Sexy the Yag ahead on the CS just a little bit. McNugget XD sitting in the bush here. Klepto, will he be forced to Spirit Rush? No, he will just take an undertow to the backside and back out, as of course Maka is forced to recall, has 1,000 gold under his belt, so could go for boots and a Doran's ring or maybe a flask or something. Danny the Yag is clearing out the white after his blue was stolen, and not a lot going on at the moment. Tang and friends at a little bit of an advantage gold wise. It's I'm not actually that must be just the junglers, because every lane for SKT1 is ahead just by a little bit.
Very even. Looks like it. Maybe. Ari is slightly out on gold, as is Ezreal, but that's about it.
Yeah, it must be the
the
junglers.
The junglers definitely.
Danny's gone for a bit of a risky, high risk, high reward, stick in the lanes and hope someone overextends, and has been unsuccessful so far. Whereas McNugget XD using the intense farming power of Olaf to get the gold income going on. Top lane, Mendrix is going to fall low, as is Steve the Yag, and he is forced to back off there. I'm expecting something to go on here in the mid, as Tristana's burst with the Sork shoes is going to be quite high, but of course Klepto went for the Negatron. Mendrix going to fall low at the top lane, but does not back off, and McNugget XD will be revealed, but Maka is going to come in, gets the ignite off, and the explosive shot will end up falling, gets a reset on the rocket jump, and will back out of there. Klepto going to flash, and Spirit Rush after him. Maka forced to flash out. Undertow goes off by McNugget XD, has the Ragnarok pop for a lot of damage, has blue buff, but not red buff. Klepto, can he get away from this one? Steve the Yag going to be coming in, but McNugget XD ends up getting the kill there. Steve the Yag forced to flash out after running out of mana. Will he fall? Yes, Maka going to follow with the rocket jump and pick up the kill there. 1,200 gold in Tang and Friends' favour.
Great play there by McNugget and Maka.
Yeah, Maka did brilliantly in that fight.
Yeah, he got his assassination down on the Lee Sin, and he backed off and he came back in when he knew he could do the damage.
Yeah, so Danny the Yag now does have the Dragon's Rage available. Will be missing on his red buff, unfortunately, and Udyr starting to get to the stage where he is completely unpushed out of laneable. Going to go for the Tear of the Goddess, which of course he can charge very easily, and looks like he may be going for the Randuins, as Steve the Yag going to pick up the Brutalizer, which negates some of that the cloth armor bonus. Udyr going to be recalling with 530 health. McNugget XD going to be recalling with 1,300 gold. Going to go instantly for the Kindle Gem and the Spirit Stone. And bottom lane, AD carries dead on even. It's been very, very quiet down here.
Hopefully we see something happen soon. There's definitely some kill potential there with the Annie.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And even if there's a catch out by the Zyra onto Annie, I think if Sexy the Yag gets caught, he would be a-okay. But, of course, Stealth the Dragon, his spell ranges aren't the most, so he could get caught out quite easily. Looks like he's done a great job of dodging so far. McNugget XD has decided to visit the bottom lane here. I think he was spotted out, and now he's definitely spotted out by the ward. Stealth the Dragon going to be skipping her way out. Blood Rush forward by Iron Woodsy. Undertow does end up landing, but the stun will go off by Annie. Stand aside, just knocks her closer to her tower, and McNugget XD going to take a lot more damage there. Well done by SKT1.
You see, Zyra's coming in. Good combo.
Oh,
couldn't do anything there. She just got bursted down.
I might just jump back 15 seconds here, Klingo, and find out what happened. So if you hit the backspace, I went up the top lane and then crazy stuff happened.
Oh.
So
Got it.
Sunwa is going to land the Grasping Roots into Stranglethorns. Whirling Death will get her low enough for the Undertow to secure that kill. So very well done by Maka and Tang and friends, sorry, as Charm will miss in the mid lane, and Danny the Yag trying to find some kind of income for himself.
Mac did get the Ori quite low, but hasn't been enough. Now he's got to run. So, up. Dragon. Just like that.
Oh, okay, and yeah, it looks like the Dragon will be started up by
and a
the
kill.
blue team here, as apparently they're going to get a kill. So I think I might have to get to live with you. No, looks like Ezreal will pick up. Yeah, I think, are you on live?
I was about 8 seconds behind him. I'm live now.
Okay, I'll jump to live as
A
well.
lot of kills just went down.
Oh, yeah, Mendrick's going to get a kill up at the top while Danny the Yag barely going to take down Tristana in the mid. And, of course, Draven did fall at the bottom. Tibbers will go off, and Sunwire instantly falls to Delve the Dragon and his burst. Brilliantly done by SKT1 John Patrol. They lose Wukong at the top, but they pick up Draven, Tristana, and Zyra after losing the Dragon. So they're now 2,000 gold behind. Tang and friends. How would you say the mid game is for both these teams, Pongo?
Well, it seems I'd say that John Patrol just have an advantage just based on the champion's raw power, but they are slightly behind. You know, Tristana's already quite strong, as is the Olaf. So I'd say that Tang and friends may actually be the advantage here.
Okay, apparently Steam decides to give me a notification at the worst times. Danny the Ag down at the bottom lane here. McNugget XD will run into him. Ragnarok goes off. He's going to try and 1v1 the Lee Sin as the bottom tower does end up falling. Danny the Ag forced to jump over the wall. Undertow will hit him as well. But Mac is going to be jumping onto Ari over in the mid lane. Gets the buster shot into the wall, and Klepto cannot escape from that one. Refresh on the rocket jump. And very well done by Maka. But the thing is, AP Tristana definitely falls off with her need of rocket jump. Iron Woodsy going to pick up a kill down at the bot. Going to pop the League of Draven passive, get a little bit more gold. Has picked up 322 gold from that, as that was his first kill. And blue buff going to be stolen for the second time in a row.
It's good to see that Tang and friends are doing more than just getting the kills. They're also taking the objectives away from John Patrol, and that's definitely going to give them an advantage heading into this mid game.
Yeah, well, it's hard to gauge how the team fights will go, because mid tower will be the second tower that Tang and friends have taken down. AP Tristana is a little bit feast or famine in the fight. She either you know, jumps in and dies, or jumps in, gets a kill, and then just goes crazy like Kazakhs, really. Of course, Cyclone and Tibbers are both very strong in the fights as well, so it really depends how they go off. The mid tower will stay up for now. Stranglethorns is used. McNugget going to pop the Ghost to try and get out of there. Will the purple team get an engage on? Nice Strangle Roots. Stranglethorn will slow that one down for now. And even Steve the Yag is in here, not with the most mana though. So this may be a failed endeavor for SKTPJ Patrol. As,
does have enough result though.
Okay, Tibbers is actually going to go down onto Maka, and Danny the Yag will be ready to kick forward. Sunwa, beautifully done there. Whirling Death picks up the Annie in the end. Is 2 for 1. Mendrick's going to be teleporting into the mid, but can't do much at the moment. Steve the Yag is too owned to do much. Klepto going to get stunned up by the Bear Sense of Negative XD coming in from the side. Charm lands onto Mendrick, and he's falling lower and lower. Sexy the Yag going to be jumped on by the Olaf barrier. Absorbs a lot of the true damage, but Iron Woodsy going to pick up a killing spree with a kill there. McNugget falls, and it is a 3 for 1 in SKT1 JP's favour. Brilliantly done there.
Very well played.
Yes.
Although they didn't really get in on the Draven, did let him get another kill, which is going to be dangerous if they keep letting that happen.
Yeah, we talked about that in there before the game. In the first game, they ignored the Draven until he got to the stage where he could 1v5, as Draven going to get cheered on as he recalls. And Delph the Dragon and Danny the Ag did a brilliant job at engaging that fight. It was Tibbers into Danny the Ag jumping under the tower, and he was ready to kick forward, I believe it was Maka, but Maka fell so quickly that he just kicked Sunwa and took him down too. So very well done, 3 for 1 in the end. Gold will still be in Tang and Friends' favour by about 4,000. McNugget XD will be picking up his red soon. Looks like he may go for Randuin's first, or perhaps Sunfire. I believe in the last game he went for the Banshee's Veil first. The mid lane has been left wide open. SKT1 John Patrol going to say thank you very much. We will pick that objective up. A great first tower to pick up. Looks like they're not done just yet, as the entirety of their team are here. Mendrix just sitting up atop. Did use a teleport in the previous fight, so it will not be available. Stranglethorns will go off. Hits up both Wukong and his clone as Charm lands onto McNugget XD there. Sunwa going to be stunned up by Annie. They jump forward. Will the Mystic Shot be enough? It is indeed. And the Rise of the Thorns passive does nothing. Top tower will end up falling in exchange for the mid T1 and the life of poor Sunwa. And things looking very tense here, Kalingo.
Yeah, well, John Patrol is definitely putting out a lot of damage right now. They're starting to get their strengths, really. I think it's serving them well.
The charm was nicely ignored by McNugget XD there. As soon as he got hit by the Kiss of Death, he pops the Ragnarok and gets out. We can see Mendrix is starting to get a little bit scarier here. Could be going for the, what's it called? The Zephyr, I think. The Tenacity attack speed item with the Stinger. Could be going Nashor's, I guess, if he wanted to go an AP Phoenix build. But I'd say more he just wants Tenacity while having Ninja Tabby.
I agree. That's a very good item on UD.
Yes. And he's a great pushing threat for SKTP1J. I don't know why I throw the P in there, but he's going to push very, very quickly. He's going to annihilate towers. He's going to be immovable if anyone tries to force him out. And of course, he can teleport. There's a decent bit of mobility on the side of SKT1. But it's going to be tricky for them to get into the fight at all. We saw in the last game, Steve the Yag tried to teleport on a Malphite and it normally wasn't enough. Sunwa is going to be stopping up the team there. Stranglethorns will go up. Delta Dragon going to instantly fall to the Deathfire Grass. Their Dragon will go the way of Tang and friends. And poor Delta Dragon not able to get a ward in the fight.
We're definitely going to have to be careful with the getting caught out, because the more picks that Tang and friends get, I think they're definitely probably... I think they have a more snowball comp, so it's very dangerous for them to get caught like that.
They're actually at the bottom lane here while Maka pressures in the mid there. Steve the going to be sticking around for the time being. Some plants are in position to get a bit of vision up. The bottom tower doesn't have any damage on it just yet, and it will be repelled here as there are plants all over the place stopping the advance. Will Klepto land a charm? No, she will not even try. Talisman of Ascension popped by Tang and friends. They want to try and re-engage with Maka here, but Delph the Dragon has rejoined them. Doesn't have the stun up yet, but of course a spell later it will be ready. Iron Woodsy going to pick up the white there. Blue buff. Will it be taken? It does go to Klepto, so that is a nice victory for SKT1 John Patrol. Nugget XD lands the undertow. He wants to start a fight, and will pop the Ragnarok onto Klepto, but of course blue buff Ari, very difficult to get there. Maka going to pop the Deathfire Grasp, and the Buster Shot, but gets jumped on instantly by the Tibbers Whirling Death. Will take Danny the Ag very low, but nice Cyclone comes out from Steve the Ag, doing a lot of damage, but it is not enough to take anyone down. He was hitting the tanky targets. Decoy will be used to try and get out. They did get the Ignite on him, but he's going to Nimbus Strike back in. He's falling very low, and Iron Woodsy gets a last spinning axe to pick that one up. Stranglethorns will knock up both Delta Dragon and Sexy the Yag. Blue team are all very, very low, with only Maka being the casualty so far. It is 2 for 1, but McNugget XD will fall to Sexy the Yag, making it 2 for 2. Talisman of Ascension popped by Sunwa to try and disengage Iron Woodsy. Is he going to get stunned up here? No, he's going to try and turn it around, and Delta Dragon pops barrier to try and absorb the burst, but it is not enough. I can shift over the wall by Sexy the Yag. He goes after Iron Woodsy, who's under the tower at the moment. Ward goes off, nothing comes of it, ends up being 2 for 2, all things considered.
Did mellow out a little there. They did get very low. Yeah. Ezreal could have, earlier in the fight, or towards the end of the main fight before the chase started, I did see Zara got a very good grasping roots down on Ezreal, held him back, like most of the team escaped, so it was a good play by her.
Yeah,
Zara.
very well done. That's one thing that Zara definitely brings, is strong disengage.
Yeah, very strong.
Stranglethorns by itself is fantastic for that, and Sunwa very good at laying them down, sometimes runs in needlessly to throw down a Stranglethorns, which ends up being very needed as it wins them the fight. Mendrix going to be pushing up at the top, doesn't have teleport for another 3 or so minutes. Klepto is trying to work towards the Deathfire Grasp or perhaps Morello Nomicon. Maka is working towards the the Rabadon's Death Cap, as Delta the Dragon sprints up with the Mobies, try and get the stun on, but it will not be enough. As Purple Team going to regroup, and can they get the engage they want? They've shown that if they get the Tibbers engage, Danny the Yag will be in there to kick out a key member, and especially if that's Iron Woodsy, it's very difficult for Draven to get out of a fight once he's in one. He's a very all-in champ, and if the fight started on him...
His flash is down too.
Yeah, so he's very immobile at the moment.
Yeah.
So purple team going to be clearing out the wards here. They will not protect their purple ward for the time being. Maka going to advance up the mid lane with McNugget XD by his side. Nimbus Strike goes out by Steve the Yag onto the race to try and farm those up. The Cyclone was really good, but it only hit Mendrix and McNugget XD, who aren't going to die the quickest. If he gets a Cyclone on Draven, he's Gonski. Same with Sunwa. And Maka, it's a little bit hard because he's got Rocket Jump and Buster Shot, but he'd prefer to use those for damage rather than peeling a Wukong.
Seems he did flash in just to get a kill using his ult. Did cost him his life in the last fight, but if he can get rid of a high priority target, I guess it evens out.
Yeah, if they get rid of Iron Woodsy, suddenly the damage for them is lacking a little bit.
Yeah. It's very valuable asset to protect.
Yeah, and something they didn't do the best last game until it was a little bit too late, and by that point he could just right-click drain the tank them to death. So Mendrix going to be coming in from the side here. Iron Woodsy going to be sprinting back to the fight. Has Bloodthirster and Infinity Edge, so his spinning axes will hit like a goddamn truck, although he won't attack the fastest unless he continually pops the Blood Rush. Blue team going to be trying to defend their tower here. Creeps pushing forward for SKT1. Fight between Grasping Roots and Undertow. The creep clearing is quite good. We'll have a look at the Twitch chat. So shout out to Mini Gorifin, who is putting some analysis into the Twitch chat. And we've got some mean people in the Twitch chat, which we'll get rid of because we're not putting up with them. And blue team going to continue pushing forward here, Klingo.
Yeah, looks like it. Could be interesting to see. Annie will probably look to ult, maybe even flash ult. She does have a flash up, so she's got that potential for an engage, especially when see Maka's pushed up quite a lot. So it could be dangerous for them.
Yeah, where will Tang and friends engage this one? It's, the pick-off from SKT is actually fairly decent. If they get a charm or perhaps a sonic wave into Dragon's Rage, they can get the stun onto them by Annie, and it will be very difficult for Tang and friends to react to, as Maka will try and go in, but I think the CC from that point will be too much for them to deal with. As, both teams very hesitant at the moment. The side lanes pushing in Tang and friends' favour, but not too badly, so purple team can afford to defend the mid. And McNugget XD wants to start the fight. A lot of these fights have been him just sprinting at the purple team. And,
does tend to work on Olaf.
Oh, Stranglethorns will go off, but purple team will avoid it. Maka is falling lower and lower, cannot get anyone down. Steve the Egg falls after getting off a great Cyclone. Talisman of Ascension will be popped to get the blue team out. A lot of damage goes down onto Klepto. Mendrix gonna ghost in and try and get some down. McNugget XD falling lower and lower. Klepto flashes and escapes from the Undertow. Delta Dragon gonna take down Mendrix. Ends up being 3 for 1 in SKT1's favour. It was very close, so Klepto almost fell. And yeah, Delta Dragon gonna get that kill, and suddenly the shoe is on the other foot. 4 and a bit, 1,000 gold in Tang and friends' favour, but Tibbers is going to be able to tank the tower up for quite a while, and he's got half his duration left.
It's interesting to see this game. The Ezreal's definitely keeping up. AD carries are much more evenly matched.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
We see the burst Triforce last.
Yeah, the Triforce last bit does a lot of damage, especially in this point in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas for Iron Woodsy it's more sustained damage with... I mean, he's got a lot of burst, but he's got to be in auto attack range for that. Mystic Shot is 1100 units range, so it's a little bit easier for him. We saw a really nice Cyclone out of Steve the Yag, but he's not quite at the point where he can tank them for that long. Needs to get, I think, a Spirit Visage or something before he's able to do that one. And War Dragon has now respawned. And Klepto's trying to get a disengage from McNugget XD, doing a huge amount of damage with the Reckless Swing True Strike on Steve the Egg. Despite building fairly tanky, he's gets chunked down by that one. That's not even a Ragnarok True Strike there. Iron Woodsy going to recall and potentially leave this dragon right open for them. Delta Dragon going to get off a, what is it, the Disintegrate? Oh, what's the AoE called? Incinerate, okay.
Close enough.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so SKT being a little bit hesitant here, which will allow Iron Woodsy to rejoin the fight, and they're actually going to back out for the time being as Delta Dragon was counter pushing, and the mid, which will signal Tang and friends to go ahead and take the dragon. As nice snare lands by Sunway, actually going to pop the Stranglethorns just to stop the engage forward, and Dragon will go the way of Tang and Friends. Talisman of Ascension popped there, but I don't know, McNugget XD is getting lower and lower. Ragnarok gets popped, Whirling Death does a heck of a lot, but Cyclone has gone in. Tibbers will go in to finish that up as well. A lot of CC going down, but the damage not quite there for Purple Team. Steve the Yag ends up falling as the rest of Purple Team going to disengage. So Dragon and a kill. Iron Woodsy going to be jumping forward, but only wants to kill the Tibbers, which is 50 gold bounty. They're not going to get it though. Danny the Yag is in the bush, and oh, that was close.
Ooh. Almost got him.
Oh, the seed revealed him, and then the auto attack didn't interrupt.
It's strange. You can actually damage them, but they still go back to the recall. Bit of a, I don't know if it's a glitch or what, but
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess the damage was a bit too delayed. So there are 2 towers remaining for SKT1 John Patrol outside of their base, and one of those will end up falling. So the top one is the last one up. Mendrick's doing a lot better on the Udyr than he has done in previous games, picking that one up. Teleport is up in about a minute and a few seconds time. And oh, looks like he's going to go up for it anyway. Feeling very confident there. McNugget XD running past the red, but it was stolen by Mendrix. And SKT1 scrambling to try and find a way to defend their structures. They're going to try and cut Mendrix off, but he does have tenacity from the Zephyr. Will it be enough? Sonic Wave ends up missing. He's going to try and pop the Ghost and get out. Total Sense will give him a little bit of a shield, but nice Mystic Shot by Sexy the Yag. He is unstoppable. 6-0-5 has the BF sword, getting closer and closer to the Bloodthirster. That kill will certainly assist. And is that signaling a Baz Kebab for SKT?
might be though. Tang and friends are here to. I'd say they'd at least give it a go for the contesto. That's very good at getting in there and stealing the Baron with his Ragnarok and Ghost.
Yeah,
Can't really stop him.
Teleport not available for Mendrix for a little while yet, but it looks like the mere presence of Tang and friends will scare off SKT for now. Maka going to be chasing them on at the top, as Undertow will land onto Danny the Yag. Another one lands consecutively as well. Will that signal the engage? No, Purple Team doing a good job of backing off. Explosive Shot goes off onto Klepto, does a little bit of damage there. He's continuing to zone them away 4v5, and Mendrix getting closer and closer to catching up. Delta Dragon going to try and clear out the red buff. Talisman Ascension goes off, but that is a very dead Annie.
It's hard to get away from Tristana.
Or as McNugget XD will be chasing after them, gets a nice engage there. As Steve the Yag going to try and flash, pops the Cyclone, tries to get the dash to Maka, but the rocket jump will be refreshed. Does end up falling to the Ignite. Well done by Steve, but it is 3 for 1 with the blue team going straight for the jugular right now. They want to get into the grand final, and McNugget XD falling lower and lower. Will Danny the Egg be able to do it? No, stand aside will stop him, and the damage from Draven is ridiculous. Best stance will stun him up, and Draven gets the last spinning axe. They're going to pick up some more gold from the League of Draven. Sexy the Yag, he's doing very well on the Ezreal, but he can't quite push them away. Delta Dragon going to be jumped on by Draven and chunked the heck down. Sexy the Yag following the same way. He is not able to, well, he pushes them away eventually, but the inhibitor does go down, and the only 2 towers left apart from the Nexus ones are, well, the tier 3s. So Tang and friends in a prime position to pick this one up, as
looks like it
could potentially go for a Baron. Looks like they will.
I very much doubt that Jump Patrol can do much here. They're very far behind in gold. It's about a 12,000 gold lead for Tang and friends right now, and with the Baron and the open inhibitor, it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, well, the purple team are going to make a last-ditch effort to try and interrupt. True Shot Barrage is, well, it will be available now. It gets shot out, but just a tiny bit too early, and the smite will come out from IL McNugget XD to secure that one. So another objective going the way of the blue team. They are almost 15,000 gold in the lead, and this game's definitely theirs to lose. Oh, so we'll have a look at the items. Deathfire Grasp getting closer and closer for Klepto, who has had a very tough game against the OP AP Tristana, who's working on her Lich Bane. The top tower will go down for Tang and friends. That is the second one they have lost. And what is Ezreal working on? He's almost got his Bloodthirster. Steve the Yag is he's got the Hex Drinker, which will help tremendously against the Tristana. And SKT1, they've got to defend very hard now. They're forced back to their base, and they've got to push the top lane out.
They do have good wave clear for Ari and Annie. Overall, I think they'll have decent wave clear, and hopefully they can, hold them off until the Baron wears off, and maybe look for one last fight to try and salvage something. But
kind of like what Tang and friends did in the previous game. They did very well in the base defense.
Anything can happen in a gold tournament.
We'll have to see how SKT1 do here. Of course, they are getting farm delivered straight to their base by means of the top lane, so if they can hold off, they'll be looking good. It looks like Tang and friends are going to go straight for the bottom lane. They've got the Baron up, so their siege will be quite good. They don't have too much tower pushing, to be honest. The longest auto attack range on their team is the Zyra, and she's not going to be doing too much. Iron Woodsy has to go into a quite vulnerable position, and just there you see the Orb of Deception chunking him down, already at 2/5 of his health remaining, and the tower took barely anything. So blue team are going to have to be very careful about how they engage this one. They don't have the Caitlyn of the previous game to siege away at ease.
Although they do have Tristana's getting some attack speed now. She's starting to max Q, which is the last ability you'd be maxing as an AP Tristana, but she's not going to be split pushing, so but she will still add some range.
Charm
they're going to fight anyway.
McNugget XD Ragnarok will get popped. Whirling Death does a decent bit of damage to Delph the Dragon, but purple team have not gone down yet. Randuin's gets popped. The tower will end up falling as the mid lane is being worked on by the minions, and it looks like blue team will head straight on over to it. There are 2 inhibitors down. There are super creeps inside the base, and the mid tower is going to get worked on here, but the engage goes off. Tower is still up, doing more and more damage. Mecha going to pick up the Lee Sin there, and Wukong will fall soon after Mecha goes down, but ends up zoning out the team long enough for the inhibitor to fall. This could be all she wrote, as Delph the Dragon is trying hard to defend. The Grasping Roots will miss. True Shot Barrage does a decent bit of damage. Nexus Tower 1 will fall. Delph the Dragon gets locked up. McNugget XD may fall to the tower. No dragon buff keeps him alive. Iron Woodsy falling lower and lower, but the lifesteal will be enough to sustain through Klepto's damage, and Tang and friends are going to end up with a 2-0 sweep to move into the grand final of the Gold Coast Online Tournament.
That was a much more decisive win than the last game. They could just see after they got the Baron, they were able to just brute force their way into the base, and there's nothing really that John Patrol could do.
Yeah, so well done, Klingo, for your very first cast. We'll ban the guy trolling in the Twitch chat. Good evening to Orthogonus, who tunes in just in time to see the end of this best of 3 series. Now that was very interesting. We're going to have to nominate an MVP. Who are you thinking?
Gonna have to go with Macca.
Macca on the AP Trist.
Yeah.
Died more than twice as much as the rest of his team.
just showed how reckless, and how disrespectful towards the other team he was. And it's great to have that sort of vigor in the esports community.
Didn't even do the most damage to the enemy team. That was Iron Woodsy on the Draven, but I think I'll have to agree with you. Macca walks away with the MVP. Very well played by SKT1 John Patrol. The first game was very close. They just couldn't finish it off, and in that game they fell behind a little bit too early. There was a similar level 1 fight, but with not similar results.
Yeah, it was a good effort from them. It's the momentum from throwing away the first game might have gotten to them.
Okay, so VODs will be up on facebook.com/Gamester, guys. You are welcome to head on over there and give us a message if you'd like your game to be cast. We love doing any games. And thank you for joining me, Klingo. That was good fun. And,
it's been a pleasure.
Maybe you can help me bring the rest of the finals around. Mendrix is one of our casters, but it'll be a bit difficult for him to cast and play at the same time, so I will be needing a co-caster.
So when would that be?
Not sure, actually. I'll have to be told.
Oh.
So thank you for tuning in, ladies and gents. We very much appreciate it. Our Facebook will be updated when we know when the semi-finals are on, to find out who faces Tang and friends between OG Kush and whoever their opponents are. I'm not quite sure yet. So, any parting words here, Klingo?
Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope it wasn't too terrible.
No, you did fine, buddy.
Cheers, thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, we had a fan club for you and a fan club for Macca this time. The Macca army prevails, he says. Oh,
I'll allow it.
Okay, so have a wonderful night, ladies and gents. This is Coldblood and Klingo signing out.
Bye.